encourage, inspire, and invest in people's lives while making the world a better place. Thank you so much for your service, Cynthia. And now, with those words, I would like to have your views on resilience. Thank you. Keep thriving.
Thank you so much, Dr. Sharma, and thank you so much the entire team of OPE for considering me fit to be on this conference. And yet again, I would like to appreciate my entire co-speakers. You don't know how much elated I feel to be speaking with or together on this platform with these amazing souls. So thank you so much yet again for having me. All right, so with that said, I'd like to head on to the business of the day, and I'll be speaking with us on the topic resilience. My explanation or my definition, rather, I'll tend to take it a bit illustrative, but before I do that, I would like to ask us one question, and that question is, how swiftly do you bounce back after encountering a setback or when something goes wrong? The ability for us to thrive in the journey of life, it's not about us having all things go the way we want or the way we planned. Rather, it has a lot to do with our responses, our reactions when things go the opposite direction, because definitely sometimes things will always go the other way. Okay, now I'll go with my illustration again. And this with me is a rubber band, and this is resilience, the ability to get back to shape when something goes wrong or after encountering a setback, a challenge, an exertion, or a difficulty. Okay, so let us now bring it down to the human, or rather the individual context, because resilience can also be traced to the environment and the ecosystem. Okay, so as humans, we often face challenges and difficulties in the course of life journey, and resilience is all about what we do with such situation. It is important to note that things will not always go the way we planned it. That is life for you. Now, being resilient also does not exactly mean that someone does not get to experience stress. It simply means that the person easily adapts and moves on. So when you talk about resilience, for me, three things come to the mind. One is persistence, and I have persistence here as the fact of continuing in an opinion or the course of an action in spite of difficulty or opposition. That's Oxford Dictionary explanation. And then two is adaptation, which is the change in structure, function, or behavior by which a species or individual improves its chances of survival in a specific environment. That's dictionary.com explanation for adaptation. And then three, transformation, which in this context means the capacity to transform oneself in response to disruption or a changing condition. These three words are often associated with the several levels of change and continuity, which is what resilience is all about. Now, when confronted with a setback or a challenge, it is important to know when to persist, which is basically on a short term, when to adapt, which is basically on a medium term, and when to transform, which comes in on a long term. I wouldn't want to dwell on this for too long because of our time. So let's move on now to the different types of resilience. There are 4 types of resilience, and having balance in these 4 dimensions will often enable one to maintain effectiveness. So the first type of resilience, which I'll be speaking of, is physical resilience. This is basically the ability of our body to recover and return to its resting state after encountering an exertion, challenge, or stress. An example of a situational physical resilience, I will use my story as an example. After having my children, I wanted to return back to my usual shape, which is what every woman also wants, that tummy that burst out like that and all that, pushed me, on that going through lots of aerobic exercises and all that. And sincerely speaking, the exercising isn't easy. At times I wake up and I feel like, can I just close my eyes and get this done with? But resilience kept me going because I can see what I want already. I can envision myself having my tummy flat, and so I kept pushing even when my body didn't even want to continue. Okay, and so that's an example of a situational physical resilience. Now let's move on to mental resilience. This is the ability to cope and adapt to life challenges in the face of stress, trauma, or adverse condition. This often demands flexibility in thinking and the ability to weigh options. Example of that could come with someone, maybe a student who is already in school that encountered an accident, a challenging situation, a health problem that should make the student not to continue with the studies, and the person just keeps pressing on because of what the person is seeing in the future, keeps pressing on. And surprisingly, this person is actually not supposed to continue with education, but you see this person press on and you're wondering, why are some people who encounter this not able to cope up and this one is coping up? That's resilience for you. So resilience keeps this person moving. So let's head on to emotional resilience. This has to do with the ability to calm your mind after encountering setback or when something goes wrong. Call it that inner force that motivates you through challenges or adversity. This example can be seen on occasions where we lose loved ones. Of course, if this person is gone, you have to sit back, think, the person is gone, the person is gone. We still have lots of people alive who need us alive. So because of that, you push yourself through. It's hard to let go, but then you still move ahead to let go. Okay, and finally, we have social resilience. Threshold Global Works has it that this is the timely capacity of an individual or group, that's family, community, country, enterprise, to be more generative during times of stability and to adapt and reorganize and grow in response to disruption. So let's now move on. What happens if I'm not resilient? I know someone will be asking right now, what happens if I'm not resilient? The truth is that people who are not resilient are prone to depression, failures, disappointment, and they rely on unhealthy coping mechanisms to deal with life challenges. However, there is a good news. And what is the good news? The good news is that resilience can be learned and developed by anyone. Yeah, it can be learned. So all hope is not lost. If you're not resilient, then it's still not late to learn and develop this trait. So how do you build resilience? For those of us who want to get the skills, who want to develop their skills. So here are a few points that I have here. One, surround yourself with resilient people. You know that saying that goes like, show me your friends and I'll tell you who you are. Yeah. I don't know if I'm not audible enough. Am I audible enough? Okay, all right. So you know that saying that goes like, "Show me your friends, and I tell you who you are." That is what it looks like when you surround yourself with resilient people. When you surround yourself with resilient people, you find out that you start becoming resilient. Two, build your connections with family and friends, and learn to assist others in time of need. Of course, when you do that, you find out that when you're in need, you have people come back to support you. Now, three, see possibilities in the face of challenges. Look beyond the now and see the future in a positive light. Four, understand and accept that change is a part of life. Change is going nowhere. Things will keep changing and evolving. Five, be optimistic and see beyond your fears. Six, learn to take decisive actions rather than dwelling in your pains or detaching from the problem. And finally, pursue your goals. Take one step at a time. Thank you very much. Keep thriving.
Thank you so much, Cynthia, for such a powerful